It was worth waiting for. Come on, gang, get the wheelbarrow. Come on. Okay, Bob, get the wheelbarrow or cart or something, because if that thing is a good size, we're going to lose ounces by just drying out. Here, we'll use this one. Okay, grab it. Somebody want to give us a hand? Hello. Where'd you get the fish? Whirl Bay. 25 feet on the downrigger. You know the hardest thing about getting a big one is getting a frying pan to fit it. How's that, guys?
All right, look at the size of that sucker.
All right.
Holy
12 trips out, nothing. 13 was lucky.
All right.
Okay, guys, let's go. She's over 50. She's over 50.
How long were you out?
Oh,
Too many times.
Big slap.
Too many times, but we got it this time.
Hey, that's going to rival that 57 from last week.
It's got to be over 50.
Over 50, guys. Definitely over 50. You're looking at maybe 60 odds.
That's why we want to hear. Come on,
Look at the size of this.
Okay, guys. Look at this. Somebody want to take the bait off the scale for this guy?
Get that minnow out.
Let's go.
Hey, that's a nice fish hanging up there.
Close in out. Come on, we're going for it.
Wow, is that ever a nice fish?
guys.
Whoa! This is a 28-pounder that's hanging on the scale. You're talking about the bait.
Let's try this thing.
Whoa, isn't this a beauty? Look at that.
How are we gonna pick it up?
I don't know. How do you pick it up? Carefully.
Oh, just carefully. Okay, we'll turn this. Got to get her in the right spot. Okay, there she's in. She's in. Okay, let her down just gently, 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 gently.
Nice. Let her down easy. Gonna have to dig a hole?
Dennis, congratulations. Super. Hey, that's before the official weigh-in.
Oh. What do we got? Over
Well,
50?
just hang on here. We'll move her out to 50.
Oh, 50 anyway. Look at that. It doesn't even budge.
There's the big 5-0.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
55, 56, 57 and a half. That was the big one last week.
Let's go.
Oh.
Keep it going down.
There's 6-0, 6-0, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-3 and a half. Oh, 63 and a half pounds. Super, super, super. Excellent.
12 times.
Congratulations.
Your 13 is lucky, Rob.
Dennis, let's have a look at the lure still in the mouth here, eh?
Yeah.
That's a green anchovy special.
That's what it is.
You just bought that a couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago. Yeah.
Have you used the anchovy special before?
Yeah,
or?
used them before.
Have you?
This is a new one.
Great.
Yeah.
One treble hook?
One treble hook.
Still in there.
Yeah.
Great.
Still there.
Dennis, tell us where you caught the fish.
Well, we've been fishing around swordfish and around church, and I thought it looked like it was very calm today, so I thought we would take a shot at the Whirl Bay area, so about 30 feet off the bank, 25 feet on the downrigger. We made 2 passes, and I told my son-in-law Bob here, I said, well, let's just take one more shot because some people ahead of us had got a small one. And there's a bit of kelp, so we had to do a hard, sharp turn to the right, and we got maybe 3 seconds into this turn, and wham, and that was it, and then it was just going. And I knew it was a pretty good size, but I didn't know it was this big. And I had it going, and it was running, and it had taken probably about 700 or 800 feet of line out because I have a white spool on the bottom, and I seen it coming, so I said to my son-in-law, don't care how you do it, get the gear, and we got to chase this guy. So with that, there were some people in front of us, and And I was saying, get out of the way, get out of the way, and they were waving at me, and I thought, I'm in trouble right now. So Bob got all the gear in, and we chased it for a few minutes, picking up maybe 200 or 300 feet. And after these people realized, they moved out of the way, and the fish realized he'd been caught, he turned around and come back towards me. So I couldn't get in fast enough, so it bird nested. Then I took a run again, and I knew I was in trouble, real trouble, because I was gathering, and every time he would come towards me, I couldn't gather it anymore. I had to back off the reel and bring it a bit more. So when we finally got him after about 35 or 40 minutes, I've still got about 5 or 6 feet that I could not get in before the flasher, because his bird nested so bad it was jammed. But if he'd have made another run, he'd have been gone. Yeah. I would not have had him. But
this is your son-in-law, Bob?
Son-in-law,
Bob, your last name is?
Milne.
Attaboy. And you were relating a broken net story when you came in. Do you want to tell us about that?
Oh, we had it up alongside of the boat, and it's just too heavy. It's a pretty well brand new net, and just snapped it right in half. Really? We both had hands around the whole outside.
Around the ring in the boat, and to drag it over in the boat, and at the same time it decided it didn't want to come in, and it just took off, and it took off. It just snapped the end of the net. We grabbed the actual netting and put him in the boat, got him in the boat, and he took about a 2-foot jump. And we're trying to hold him down and get him and all this, and the boat is total disarray. There's gear all over the place right now, but it's worth every cent and every inch of it. Oh.
Dennis, 63.5 pounds is the largest Chinook that I can ever recall, being here at Petter Bay for 20 years. And by that I mean the largest Chinook around the whole lower southern Vancouver Island.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, that's something.
The biggest one that I can recall was 60 pounds, and that was taken by Gordy Steele about 5 or 6 years ago. And so this fish here will now take the lead in the Daiwa World Salmon Fishing Championship, and put you in the race for the Island Surf 17-foot boat with Roadrunner trailer, and it's 1 pound heavier than the fish out of Campbell River that won it last year.
What does it say for Petter Bay fishing area? We got the best fish in the world out here.
We're in salmon.
Dennis, you know, we talked yesterday. You came by the marina, and I must say you were a bit despondent. You had said, gosh, I've been out 12 times and I haven't even had a fish.
That's right.
And I think I recall I said, look, when it's your turn, it'll happen. Just be patient. Yeah. And what happened today?
It's my turn.
That's great.
Like me today.
That's great.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Can you tell us any more about your experience? When you left here this morning, what time did you go out?
We were on the water this morning about 5:45, and I knew the tide change would be around about 8:30 or so. And I wanted to get about an hour or so in before, and it worked out.
And what time did you actually hit the fish at?
About 8:15, 10 after 8, 8:15, and around that number. You know, when all the action starts, you sort of forget time for a few minutes. But it was about that time, and it was about 10 after 9:15 when we got in. So.
You came right into the marina once you landed the fish.
We came in. The fish was still jumping in the boat only but minutes ago. So it's
I can attest to that. Yeah. we also were going to take this fish over to another weigh station and get a verification on the weight. So you know, that is a requirement of the Daiwa World Salmon Fishing Championship. So
I got my little mini truck, so we'll have to use somebody else's vehicle if that's okay.
For the novice angler, give us a lesson. You've still got the lure in the fish here. Can you tell us a little bit about the leader length? What sort of length did you use, and what other gear did you have on, Dennis?
I retie them. I use a red hotspot that I've had for years, and I find them very good. And I retie them. They have, I think, most of them a 30-pound test, and I use 40-pound test on them. And swivel bead chain, and I used the large anchovies, of which I picked up from you this time again, and it certainly was successful.
Well, they often say that bigger bait catches bigger fish, and this really attests to that.
Proof in the pudding, isn't it? Yes, for sure.
What about the length of the leader?
6 feet. I think some of them come around 40-odd inches on that, but I put mine 6 feet, and about 10 to 12 feet from the downriggers on the quick release with a hotspot flasher.
So you were fishing with a rod and reel attached to a downrigger, 25 feet down.
25 feet.
6-foot leader, hotspot flasher, and the Anchovy Special with the large anchovy.
Right.
Once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And Bob's son-in-law, hey, congratulations to you too.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Well, the part of Vancouver Island fishing news that I like the most is when I have the opportunity to have a guest join me out on the water and actually experience some sport fishing. Today we're out off the Race Rocks, Christopher Point, Church Island area, and my guest is Mr. Tom Davis of Reese Davis Limited. Tom, welcome to the Fishing News.
Thank you very much, Rob. It's a beautiful day out here, and considering the way the fishing's gone at Souk the last month or so, it could be pretty spectacular.
It's timely. Tom, the Anchovy Special is what we're here to feature today, and the Anchovy Special in just recent days has been setting records around lower southern Vancouver Island. And maybe we should just highlight a little bit about what it's done here in the last few days.
Well, Rob, you probably know better than I do the number of fish that have come in the last month. I guess there's been close to a dozen fish over 50 pounds.
That's right.
But I guess what's really got the people talking is that 63.5 pounder that was taken yesterday morning, and that was taken on a green anchovy special. And I believe just the day before that, a fella had a 56.5 on an anchovy special as well. Now, I know one of the fellows was Bill Ferguson. That was a 56.5, but refresh my memory. Who was the lucky fellow who popped the 63.5 yesterday?
That was Dennis Pro. And Dennis is a local resident of the Colwood district, and he caught a 63-pound, 8-ounce Chinook salmon, and that's the largest salmon ever recorded taken on lower Vancouver Island waters. So, and it was taken on Anchovy Special, so yeah, it's very timely.
We were fortunate enough to have a look at that fish in the freezer before we came out, and it was certainly awesome.
Yeah, beautiful fish. Tom, the evolution of the Anchovy Special, how long has it been around?
It's been around a full year, Rob, but kind of a funny story behind the Anchovy Special. My dad started designing it in the early 1980s when anchovies became a very popular bait here. And we did about 4 years of testing on it. I can remember the first prototype that we took to Gold River. My wife and I went up and did the test fishing on it in 1983, and we nicknamed it Dad because it didn't catch a cold virtually. I think we got one fish on it, but it evolved through that. We did test fishing at Barkley Sound for a couple of years, and then came down here and did some fishing here. So finally, by the fall of 1985, we were just about ready to go into production. We had to do a couple of fine-tuning things on it. We wanted to produce a lure that was, one, easy for the average fellow to use with an anchovy, because there really wasn't one on the market that would fit the bill for all sizes of anchovies. You could set it up with one hook position and make it perform the way you wanted to. The other key factor was we wanted to make sure that we had a lure that we could fish with both a single and a treble hook, and we've achieved that with this particular model.
Yeah. Now, the applications of color, you have clear heads and green.
To date, that's right, yes.
What's the application of the colors?
Color, Rob, we've always felt that for our lures, which are bait-retaining devices, that two colors were really important. One was the clear head, and the other was the green chartreuse shade of head. And we haven't delved into a lot of other colors because we're using a natural bait. It has a natural sheen, a built-in attraction of its own. But funnily enough, over the last couple of years, the chartreuse green have been really popular, and I think as you're aware, with the number of fish that have been caught here, that a tremendous number this year have been taken on that chartreuse green shade of color. And for some reason or other, it seems to be really hot this year. Other years, the clear is certainly the predominant color.
The one thing that I can attest to, Tom, is as a marina operator renting out boats to a lot of inexperienced people, the Anchovy Special has made my job a lot easier. It's very easy for the novice to hook this up and come out here on the water and have a good degree of success or chance of catching a big salmon.
Yeah, that was the intent behind it, Rob. It's a pretty easy setup. I can show you the setup on it now, Rob. It's very easy and very straightforward, and it follows the basic principle of all of the teaser lures that we've manufactured. We position the anchovy, a fully thawed out anchovy, in the plastic Anchovy Special head. We position it there by a toothpick. Now, the fellows will see that there's two holes here for the toothpicks to go through. The front hole is for smaller anchovies, and the back hole is for larger anchovies. You want to make sure that the toothpick doesn't go through the eye of the anchovy.
Yeah.
You want to put it through that gristly portion just up on the nose of the anchovy. So that's why we have the two holes to match the different sizes of bait.
That's to keep it in there tight so it's not
Yeah, very important that it's in there all the way to the top end. The other thing that the fishermen want to be aware of is that there's a toothpick in this blister. That's a tension device on the leader, so that when you set the hook in the anchovy, it has enough tension on it to hold whatever bend you put in the anchovy. So that's very important as well. Now from there on, it's pretty simple. The fellows should thaw their anchovies out completely, make sure that they're nice and straight, and then position the hook behind the dorsal fin, which is located here, and up quite high into the darker part of the back, as opposed to putting it down in the clear belly portion. And for fishing in Souk, I would recommend that they put very little bend in the anchovy because of the strong tides that are in this area. If you have this lure spinning rapidly and out of control, it's not going to produce too many fish. But make sure that they've got a bit of a bend in it, nice even curve down at the tail, and it should produce the type of action that they're looking for. Now maybe another thing, Rob, that fishermen should consider, especially here in Souk because of the effect of the tide on bait, is salting their anchovies down. Maybe taking a bucket, plastic container, quart of water, couple of cups of coarse salt, mixing it into a solution, thawing the anchovies out and putting the anchovies in that solution. It toughens them up, it makes the anchovies shine more, and they'll be far more durable in the water. In other words, they'll hold that fish catching action for a longer period of time.
Tom, you mentioned the application of the different types of hooks. You have a treble here. You mentioned the single hook setup and the tandem trebles. Yep. Do you have some here that we...
Rob, here's one with a single hook, and as we mentioned earlier, the lure can be used with either single or treble hook. Now the hookup is exactly the same. The fisherman takes his single hook, positions it behind the dorsal fin, right through the anchovy, up on the line, or above the line that separates the blue and the silver. Yeah. The difference with this single hook and most single hooks that you would find in the store is that it's offset quite dramatically on this particular side. It has quite an offset to it, so when the fish takes the lure, there's a very visible point for him to get a hold of. Yeah. Now the reason we had to do this lure with a single hook is for markets like California, where they have single barbless hook regulations. But the lure fishes it as effectively with the single hook as it does with the treble that which is most commonly used here.
How far afield are you developing markets for the Anchovy Special?
Well, this is now sold pretty well down the coast from where we're fishing here down into northern California. We also sell them back east in the salmon fisheries in North and South Dakota.
You have a tandem treble hook setup?
Yeah, it's another favorite hookup of mine, Rob. This is a larger anchovy set up with a tandem treble hookup, and these are actually as a Dacron hookup with the tandem hooks. And we've set both hooks into the anchovy. We have a number 2 treble hook set a little bit forward this time, sort of forward of the midpoint of the dorsal fin, and it's set in the anchovy, and the trailing hook is set just above the tail. Now, by setting the trailing hook in, that tends to control the tail, so it stays in nice and tight on the revolution.
Yeah, great.
And that's what we want to get, is that nice tight roll on the bait.
Drill bit type of roll.
Yeah. Oh, look at here, we got one. Oop. Here you go, Rob.
Attaboy. Hey, good. That feels like a good one.
Feel like a fish?
Yeah.
Runs like a fish. Looks like one.
Must be a fish.
Oh, the meat hands here doesn't blow him. I'm going to get out of the way and have my coffee now. Good choice of locations to come there.
Well, yeah. Going down.
Going downtown, is he?
Oh, there he comes up. Whoa, look at this. Look at this.
Good one?
Whoa.
He's a burner.
Whoa, look at that. Whoa. Woo.
He's a burner.
Whoa.
You got sound happening here?
Yep. Whoa. Good one. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, love it. Whoa. You keep taking her out, eh? Look at that.
A lot of line out there.
Whoa. Whoa.
Get the boat going, lads. He's really burning my line.
He's burning my hand, too, I gotta tell you.
We got a boat coming up.
Whoa.
Boy! He's way out there.
Heavy fish.
Heavy fish?
Yeah.
That's what we want. How heavy is heavy, Rob?
Oh, how about 3-0?
Yeah, okay. I thought you were going to say maybe 6-0. You've had them before, though.
Yeah. That's good right there.
Good. Ah, Jesus, coffee's going down awful good, Rob. Still had a ton of line out, eh?
Boy, okay. Just threw something, or I don't know what he's doing.
That's a flash. Still there, I think.
I don't know.
We're in neutral.
I think
he might have just pooped.
Still there?
I think so.
Gone? Yep. Oh, he's there. He's still there. He just went with you. See the flashes? He's still there. He's moving the flashes now. You want to blink? This is a Hackeye minnow rod.
Yeah.
He's nice. He's a nice fish here. Yeah, he's a dandy, all right. Strong fish. Beauty.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Could be a 4-0.
Whoa!
Oh.
Beauty!
Hey.
Oh, thank you very much. That's on the Anchovy Special, eh?
That one could be 45.
The club's right in behind you there, Rob.
Got any scales?
Super. Look at the beautiful shape of this fish.
Yes. Where's the club in here?
All right, yeah.
How heavy does it feel, Rob?
I'd say probably high 30s anyway. Close to a 4-0.
What are you doing? Your fish comes in.
What was that you were saying, Mark, about getting a reputation? That proof positive. Well, Tom, we've been enjoying the hospitality of Les Fisher, the owner-operator of Aquastar Charters. We've had an excellent experience catching a beautiful spring salmon. And before we take it back to the marina and have the official weigh-in, let's show the viewers a little bit of action with the anchovy teaser.
Sure, Rob. We can do that right now. Okay, Rob, what we want to achieve with the Anchovy Special is a nice, tight, controlled revolution, maybe a little bit of hesitation in it. We don't have a whole lot of bend in the anchovy. Set the hook behind the dorsal fin, rolling at maybe 1.5 revolutions a second. Okay, Rob, that type of roll that we have there just about defines what we were talking about a minute ago. It's turning over at a nice, tight revolution, showing a little bit of hesitation in the roll, and running at a fairly slow and tight roll.
Again, the application, Tom, and the type of roll indicates the action of a crippled bait fish.
Well, that's one of the theories, Rob, but whatever the action is, that type of action that we have right there is the one that produces a fish.
Super. Well, Tom, we haven't set a record for the marina. That was set yesterday. But there is a possibility that we may have set a record for the biggest fish on the Aquastar Charters boat. So we're going to have to go back to the marina and find that out for sure.
Okay, Rob, let's do that.
Hit it, Wes.
Okay. Let's go and get the official weight and see whether this is the biggest one on the Aquastar boat. Oh, heavy fish. Heavy fish.
Okay.
That was the moment of truth. Come up.
We'll find out anyway.
Ah. Yep.
Okay.
There we go. So what do we have to beat, Les?
35.5.
There's 30. There's 35, 36, 37, 38,
Holy shit.
39.
39 even.
I don't know. We'll try for the 4-0.
You won't make it.
Hey, I don't think so. Yeah.
I won't make you.
No, she's not going to make a 4-0. We're going to make 39.5. Well, guys, if we'd have brought this fish back in right away, it would have weighed 40 pounds.
Well, it's pretty close as it is, Rob.
Beautiful fish. Put her back in the fish tub. Les Fisher, the owner-operator of Aquastar Charters, thank you very much for providing the platform for our trip this morning. Tom Davis of Reese Davis Limited, thank you for providing the expertise.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
And I hope that our viewers have learned more about the use of the Anchovy Special.